I'm in red form, in a red state, such a red case on a red song. In a shared space with my shareholders, cause we share a bond. Spiritual healthcare, that's real self-care, you won't care for.
I got my Mets hat on to the back. Y'all already know where we going with the stats.
Any artist that's talking garbage and try to curse us, y'all follow a wave and do whatever's current. I follow his ways, I know my turn is coming.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access. What's going on, Giants fans? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access with your boy BigPatssportsTalk, and we are on air, and we got a subject to talk about today. I've been hearing a lot of things in these streets, in these Twitter streets. Lord have mercy, Twitter, but a lot of Giants fans are on board with letting Daniel Jones walk and letting Saquon Barkley walk and getting rid of other players like Leo Williams and other guys and say, hey, burn it down and let's do a full rebuild because we don't accept mediocre. So I guess a season where we make it to the divisional round of the playoffs where no one even gave us a chance to win more than 6 games, that's mediocre. Your quarterback, Daniel Jones, progressing tremendously this year. No matter how you try to blame his stats or whatever, it's mediocre. Saquon Barkley having his best season since his rookie year. When he finally has a half-decent O-line. This O-line wasn't even really half-decent. We were still bottom half, but he had over almost, what about close to 1,700 or 1,800 all-purpose yards. It's mediocre. So get rid of him. Burn it down. So what's the plan when you burn it down? How are you going to replace Daniel Jones? How are you going to get your offensive line corrected? How are you going to replace Saquon Barkley? How are you going to replace these receivers? How are you going to replace these middle linebackers? Burn it down. So what are you going to do? You're going to go into the draft and trade up for who? Will Levis? Who was inaccurate in college and underperformed in college with the Kentucky Wildcats. You're going to go out there and you're going to trade for Stroud, who's probably going to go number 1, or Young, who's going to go anywhere between number 1 and number 3. Will Levis anywhere between number 1 and 10. Oh, Anthony Richardson, I got you. Anthony Richardson, who could go anywhere between 1 and 15. Are any of those quarterbacks on the level of the draft where Baker Mayfield, Darnold, Rosen, Allen, and Lamar Jackson came out that year? Let's not use hindsight. Let's use the logic that you guys were using that year when you wanted us to take Sam Darnold over Barkley, or Josh Rosen over Barkley, or Josh Allen over Barkley. You got to go with the logic that you were using at that time. Was that quarterback class? Is this year's quarterback class anywhere near that quarterback class coming out that year? Considering the hype coming out of college, what they did in college, is this draft on par with that draft with the quarterbacks? Let's say you do feel that way, and we're at pick number 25. Do you know what we have to give up to go up to number 1? You're probably talking about the first round pick this year, the first round pick next year, probably our second round pick this year, probably a third round pick the next year. And if they really want to get funky with it because the Colts really want to go up there and grab a quarterback, they'll tell us, give us another first next year, the year after that. So you probably won't have a first round pick to about 2026. But hey, we got C.J. Stroud or Young or Levis or Anthony Richardson. Let's just say you want to go up from 25 to 10 or 15. Still gonna have to give up 2 first-round picks and a plenty of other picks to get one of those quarterbacks. Now you have a whole at running back. You have an unknown at your quarterback position. You have holes across your offensive line. You have holes in the defensive tackles with your defensive line because you let Leonard Williams go because you said burn it down. You got 2 holes at inside linebacker. You got a hole at slot corner. You might have a hole at the other corner if the Cordell Flott doesn't work out. But you want to burn it down. Oh, you can save Dex though, right? Because you like Dex. Are the people that want Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley to come back, are those the guys that are accepting mediocrity, or is it you guys? Or is it you guys that don't have logic about anything? What about this season was mediocre? Please explain. What about this season was mediocre? What about Daniel Jones' play this year was mediocre? You're going to say that he's mediocre because he doesn't put up stats like Patrick Mahomes with Hodgins, Richie James, and Slayton? Who, by the way, Hodgins came in 9 games into the season. Richie James came off the street off a torn ACL. And Slayton was the number 6 receiver going into the year. Oh, yeah, we had Bellinger, but he got hurt for about 5 to 6 games. Still had a bottom offensive line. The only thing that he had running for him this year is he had a new scheme and with a real coach, and Saquon Barkley stayed healthy with him. And guess what? When those 2 guys stayed healthy, we made it to the divisional round of the playoffs, no matter how you want to put it. You want to base this whole season on mediocrity because we lost to a team that's currently playing in the Super Bowl? That's what you call mediocrity? I continue to ask this question. What quarterback out there that is balling out, putting up all these stats, has a roster around them like Daniel Jones? Just name one that's just going out there and balling out with practice squad receivers and balling out with receivers that wouldn't even be a starter on another team, wouldn't even be on the team. Not just not a starter, probably won't even be on the team that those other quarterbacks teams are playing with. Name one. The only thing that changed for Daniel Jones was the coaching, the scheme, and Saquon Barkley stayed healthy with him the whole season. And we made it to the divisional round with the playoffs with lack of talent. It's not like this roster was built, a Super Bowl built roster. This roster had lack of talent at major positions, and we still made it to the divisional round of the playoffs when most of you guys didn't even have us winning 4 to 5 games because you want that coveted quarterback. What about this season was mediocre? Oh, because he didn't throw for over 5,000 yards with these receivers? You make it seem like he had T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd out there with him. You make it seem like he got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Palmer, and those guys out there with him. You make it seem like he got Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, Knox, and all those guys out there with him. Do you know this was Daniel Jones' first year in this system? You know that? But everything he did was mediocre. Oh, he's mediocre. He only threw for 15 touchdowns and 3,200 yards. Well, you know he rushed for another 700 with another 7 touchdowns rushing. The man cleaned up his turnovers. One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. Ran for the most first downs in the league as a quarterback. So he was moving the ball. He kept the chains moving even when things broke down. Had one of the worst offensive lines in the league again. One of the most pressured. And has the most lack of talent at the receiver position. And we still went to the divisional round. Had 5 comeback victories. What more do you want from the guy? And he was still one of the most accurate passers in the league. And his receivers had the second highest drop rate in the league. But that's mediocre. So what do you guys plan to do when you tear it down? How are you going to replace Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley? How are you going to replace them? You think this magical quarterback is just going to come to us at number 25 in a draft where the quarterbacks are not that great? Y'all tell me. You tell me that you want a quarterback that can be accurate, but you want Anthony Richardson, who threw for damn near 51% completion percentage at Florida, that he's just going to come in and just be this awesome guy. You want to tell me that Will Levis, that's a turnover machine, he's going to come in and just be that guy. C.J. Stroud didn't look that great this year. He did play very good against Georgia in the college football playoff. But you're talking about a dude that's throwing to a legit 3 first-round graded receivers over at Ohio State. But you're going to tell him, we're going to give up the farm to get you and come over here and throw it to Hodgins, when you're used to throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Williams, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah, come on over here and throw it to these guys, man. You're great. You guys got to really think of what you're talking about, man. You got no plan. The only thing that you are so gung-ho doing is getting rid of the people that are actually producing for us. Make that make sense. I don't want mediocrity, but I damn sure want to get rid of all the people that's doing some good things for us. Make it make sense. Oh, Daniel Jones, he's not putting up major stats. Why is he not putting up major stats? The man has been through 4 schemes in 4 years. 3 coaches in 4 years. 5 offensive coordinators in 4 years. And do your research. Name how many of the receivers he's passed to over the 4 years he's been here. Name the ones that are still in the league. Kadarius Toney played 1 year here and got traded. Kenny Galladay ain't did shit in 2 years. Sterling Shepard still hurt. Darius Slayton, the only consistent person on here, and guess what? He has the highest drop rate since he's been in the league. Evan Ingram dropped everything when he was here. Glad he went to Jacksonville and started catching the ball. Actually, he had a pretty damn good season. Maybe it was just a change of scenery he needed. But you can't blame Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones was putting it on him. Pause. And he was just dropping the ball. You can't blame Daniel Jones for drops. Cody Cord, Coleman, C.J. Board, Benny Fowler, Golden Tate, Russell Shepard. These are the guys he's been throwing it to. Are any of those guys still in the league? Alex Bachman, David Seals, Marcus Johnson. Come on, man. Like, come on, bruh. Who's this man been throwing it to? Where are all these weapons that he has on the field where he's just supposed to just put up stats? What quarterback you know is just putting up major stats with nobody out there with him? Name them. What quarterback just came to a franchise and just balled out from the beginning and there was nothing around him? Oh, Joe Burrow did it. Joe Burrow had Mixon, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins and Uzama when he came into the league. Yes, he had a bad offensive line, and guess what? He was 2-6 his rookie year. Then they drafted Jamar Chase, got a little bit better on the offensive line, but the man had 3 monsters across the board with a good tight end and a good running back. Herbert came into the league with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. And what's the boy? Hunter Henry. Austin Eckler. Good Lord. Patrick Mahomes came in. Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman. The best tight end ever, probably, in Kelsey. When Josh Allen didn't have all those people out there, that man never completed 60% of his passes, never had a 300-yard passing game until Diggs and them got there. Was considered a bust until then. Like, make your logic make sense. Why burn it down when we actually got to the playoffs when nobody ever thought that we would get over 5 games? Except for the Big Blue Crew. We said it before the season started. Go check our file. Name one quarterback that's gone through the things that Daniel Jones has gone through and still stayed 10 toes down and looks like he's going to come out on the other side. But you hate him. That's why you want to get rid of Barkley. You hate him. That's why you don't want to trade for T. Higgins. You hate him. That's why you don't want to draft a receiver in the first round. You want to get another quarterback so you can say, hey, look, Daniel Jones sucked. If the media treated him like Justin Herbert come out, would you be saying the same thing? Would you be saying the same thing if the media treated him like Justin Herbert and didn't treat him like trash? I think not. Because every time I hear you guys speak, you say the same things these media guys say. You do. Word for word. And it's sad. So hell no. You don't burn nothing down. You build. You continue to build. The man told you he wanted to build this team while still being competitive. And he did his job. Mr. Joe Shane. And what a hell of a job he did. They put the pressure on Daniel Jones. He answered the call. They put the pressure on Saquon Barkley. He answered the call. You find a way to bring those 2 guys back, if it is at all possible, which I do believe so, and you continue to build. Point blank, period. Stop it with the nonsense. Go do some research and get your logic game up. Then come back and talk to the Big Blue Crew. But our core players are here to stay, and we're going to continue to build. And we're going to continue to compete. And I see some more playoff bursts in our future. So this has been Big New York Giants Full Access with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And use logic, man, when you're thinking, please. Till the next episode, man. Peace. This is a Big Blue Crew production.